My biggest concern, though, for them, as we see, there's not going to be anything too shocking. Still do have that deadlock variant here for LEVIATAN. But the biggest concern that I have is that series versus Vitality, it was an overtime game. It was 15-13 for Trace to be able to get that. It did not come easily for them.
Yeah. This is a tough map, and I think they're going to have a tough time. You know, now they're going to have that deadlock used against them. And on Ascent, it's pretty good on both sides of the coin, whereas Vine, you know, you want to talk about the deadlock as being so oppressive on the attacker side in particular. But on Ascent, there's a lot of angles you can use for the sonic sensors in the wall on the defender side as well. And LEVIATAN is one of the best in the world at using the deadlock overall in this map. They're so good with their protocols. They understand how to play off the utility extremely precisely.
I mean, 100% win rate here for both of these teams in recent history. We haven't seen Lev drop this since May when they lost in the lower final versus G2. So they have had a decent win streak built up for them.
Well, we're headed into map 3, folks. Can Trace Esports do it again and take down LEVIATAN? Let's go ahead and find out. Send it back to your casters, Mitch and Tom.
Thank you so much, GB. The third map, the one we hoped we'd get to. Trace have put up one hell of a fight so far. It's been a close series. Let's hope it's the same here, Tom.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think both teams very comfortable on this map. In fact, I wouldn't have been surprised if there was a world where either of these teams picked this map. I think versus other teams that they would have done, but it was basically both had the expectation the other wanted to play it, so they left it to this third and final map. This is the best map, arguably, of either side at times. Maybe the icebox for LEVIATAN, but it's going to be the attack side start. This is where you have high expectations from the side of LEVIATAN. They can lock off so many angles, create awkward positions using all of that utility, and already sweaty lineup.
Well, there goes the net. It's landing in a spot with no players. Same for the Paranoia. Much closer angles being held by Trace on the site, around the door. Up top, Kai goes in for one, but doesn't find it. That's okay. He'll fall back to the site, and the rotate's underway from Bianca, but take a look at LEVIATAN. They're going elsewhere. The read is made by Trace. I don't know if they're going to get here quite in time, though. And in fact,
double.
It's a double fake.
Yeah, they've now locked them off on short as well. They've placed down the barrier. So it, obviously, the time of it may have run out at that point, but there's still very little information. The only thing that worries me a bit is how much time it's actually going to take them to get round to this position. Still a pot flash available for Hebe and a couple of shock darts, but those are not going to be anywhere near this fight.
Recons and smokes, angle sectioned off. They know the backside is under their control, but down below, still one lurking. It's Law King for the double, and he's eventually shut down. But the damage is done. The drop though from Hebe that gives a chance back to LEVIATAN. They need to plant. 10 seconds on the clock. And the shock dart, they're not quite landing for the damage. King safe from the reveal. That's a blind side and a win for LEVIATAN in the pistol. 1-0.
Yeah, there was no expectation that there was going to be a player up in heaven. The dart, even in hand, but just fired on the other side of the wood, and because of that, it doesn't actually reveal. They're expecting players down below. This seems to happen in almost every pistol where there's a player over on the Trace side who looks like they're dead to rights. Like maybe they get one kill and they still come out with a little bit more. But this time, Aspas is able to match them on it. The first pistol that goes the way of LEVIATAN. The exact start they were looking for coming into the final map.
Now round 2. A different buy to what we've seen from Trace every time they've won the pistol. There's been heavy investments. And for LEVIATAN, they've gone for 2 rifles, an SMG, and 2 pistols. So there's quite a bit of room for error. The margin is wide this time. Some players spotted getting a little bit aggro on A, and we're going to have the drone go through. It should be broken by Hebe before it can find too much information. And denied even the ability to clear out wine. We're going to see LEVIATAN give up this angle and fall back towards middle.
Yeah, this is a nothing but utility round for the defense. So you kind of expect no kills, but they are stacking up in a manner that could cause issues. They're giving no information away, only the turret for contact, and everything else is just reliant on if they can get anything from this crossfire. The thing is, you expect there to be some counter utility. Paranoia is solid. It did catch one. Okay, that's not bad. At least a kill going their way. In fact, the second is there as well. Aspas, though, puts a pin in it. He's going to try and deny anything more, and even still, they managed a third kill.
2 versus 2, not a bad situation for Trace to find themselves in, but the door closed, blocks out a player. Kai up in heaven, not even punished for the kill. Now Calm surrounded, and he can only get one.
It's classics!
They might not win the pistol, but they sure as hell win the second pistol. Their follow-up.
They bought nothing.
That's ridiculous.
They literally didn't buy anything. How have they managed to... Like, I thought the moment that Aspas got 3 kills, it's over now. It's over now. And then Kai just walks out and just manages to get a free kill onto him, blindsided. But this is... I don't know. This has to be one of the most embarrassing rounds I think Lev have lost in a long time. It was just classics. 1-to-1.
Information at times. Even here. Feng opened the door. They know.
Yes. Yes, there we go. Let the rage consume you.
That's a devastating loss. If they thought losing the pistols was bad, well, this is a slightly worse way to start it. Blade Storm active for Aspas.
Which is insane, by the way, to have a Blade Storm when you won one round and lost a round. Like, it's just nuts. It shows that he's still been carrying his weight. The rest of the buy stinks. And look at the other side. Look how much they have financially. And wow, this is the one time you needed a little bit more from him. Feng as well. Now, of course, worth mentioning, from Raze to Killjoy, it's the switch up of duelists, but both seem comfortable in their alternate roles. I will say, I'm quite excited to see Kai on the duelist because he has looked filthy playing over in China.
Yankee picking up one. Feng overextends eventually, but it's being cleaned up across the board. Just a 1 loss. And a gorgeous start to this third map for Trace. And I have to say, you can see already that they have the ideas. They sort of knew what LEVIATAN were going to go for there. Feng playing way back so the paranoia didn't catch him, and then he's able to quickly execute on Aspas, who was dashing in to try and catch him off guard. But there was no one caught off guard on the side of Trace, and the Blade Storm falls flat.
That is the cool thing with the idea, though, from LEVIATAN, is a lot of the time they combine that paranoia with a net in the exact position that he tried to hold from. It's just further back. So it's definitely, like, there is a plan. That time wasn't put into play, but there is now a purchase backup. Now, information is known from either side. King is throwing down smokes in middle, giving space to others. In the meantime, something we're going to see quite regularly, I'd imagine, is this B push from Kai. He loves to take deep control, and it allows for them to have much earlier rotations. Hebe, though, has to escape.
Avoids the net that was thrown through just seconds later. The orb gifted to Calm, now just 1 away from a Hunter's Fury. Big round for LEVIATAN, and they're on the rotate. Looks like they'll attempt to get some space with Tex later on, and well, his timing is going to be key. If Kai swings into him, he might have a chance. If he swings into Kai, I don't believe he will. And with a trap in hand, it got dangerous. In fact, he has trapped him.
That's actually brilliant.
Precision.
He was like, okay, what's the chance of someone just holding on the edge of my trip? I'll put it down just slightly deeper and take the other one back. Clever stuff. The problem is, look at the stack. There's still 3 players here. It's only that one operator on the defense, but they start rotating away. They start pulling back. It will leave just 2 here to hold, and in fact, make that just 1. Well, King, the same as the pistol, needs to go big. The rotation has come through from above, but it's going to be an all-out brawl. Aspas, King combining, and Aspas again, leaving Kai, well, to save.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to want to risk this operator, is he? 4 players left alive for LEVIATAN. They don't have a sense that he's saving just yet, but they will eventually. I'm not sure, you know, he got revealed and he had the op in hand. It just depends if someone was staring him down and got to see that big gun in play. But he hasn't had a chance to flex it just yet. No one's stepping into his crosshair. For LEVIATAN, right back on the horse, tying it up 2-2, and after a pretty horrible way to start out the half, they have at least got themselves a little bit of momentum stolen from Trace. Problem is, because of that rough start, Trace will be buying right back up.
I do think as well that's just a read. Like, if you've watched Trace play this before, if you've seen Kai play before, he's a big fan of the sniper. Like you'll be excited because there's high potential. He pulls out the Outlaw on the attack. Like, he loves just going for those mid-fights. I even saw them have a second round buy, which was a double Outlaw attack, and then had some SMGs alongside it just to sort of pad the gap. But I think that is just the guys over on Leviathan doing their research, knowing that he likes to push B main, knowing that he likes to take that control, and just forcing him back. And even though they did manage to get the players back in position to fight it, they were too far forward. They forced them into a box and then put them up against the bodyguard of Aspas, who is now 8-2.
Well, there's the up shining through eventually. Tex is the one to fall right off rip. Dodging the initial spam, Hunter's Fury sent through, reveal, decent. Not able to track Hebe though. And the pulses ultimately falling flat from that ultimate. Kai not able to land the shot either. The Cloud Burst offering a little bit of protection. Moment of solace for Leviathan. The shock dart decent, the plant could be secured. Although, Trace are very quick to break all the utility. Door open, barrier gone. Or door mostly broken, it's not quite fully. And they're on the run from this annihilation. At least they should be!
Oh, no! It's going to be the catch. I don't know if they have time to break it. They should, but it doesn't matter. All too easy. The sensors are going to catch them as they look to make their way back into the site. Kai, though, he's gone from operator to Odin and somehow made it work. Back to the operator again! I don't know what that was. That was maybe the greatest juggling we've ever seen. If that was an outlaw, Mitch would be on the floor.
That was absolutely gorgeous, Tom. You know what? I love it when someone swaps out the big, expensive gun for the big, quite also expensive gun. They haven't saved it, though. That's a mark against their good name. Irrespective, what a round from Kai. The opening shot, precise. Although the Annihilation manages to take down Bianca, that didn't slow them at all. They knew there was someone down below, and Kai was hunting them down relentlessly, runs the ammo dry, and goes straight back in for more. That is a confident player if ever I've seen one. 3-2. Leviathan have at least some credits to fall back on. It's not going to be easy here. Light shields across the board, and early on a ton of information for Trace. They're playing a risky game against this operator, and the flash is good, but the shot lands for King.
Yeah, it leaves them with a disadvantage, but also it doesn't look like Leviathan are going to overface this one. They're happy to just take that control, even have a sensor available to set up King if he needs it, and the rest of the team are going to go pushing around the other side of the map. And you can see the defense have fully rotated already, leaving just Low King over on a short.
Take flight.
He might be the one that's going to come under some serious pressure here. Although, as said, Leviathan, after getting that man advantage, are very comfortable to just feel out the map.
That's exactly what they're doing. The A site will be their ultimate target. You can already see the rotation from Recon online. It's been an essential part of how they take this A site. Recon up, dash in, try to get Aspas the opportunity to take a kill from inside his cloud burst while they're being revealed.
Left.
I think we're going to see much the same this time. Smoke for left. Nice shot by Law King, though. He's kept control over short. The reveal will give them all the info. There's no one here. A site wide open. Oh, but the flank! Not expected! That's a massive oversight from Leviathan.
He double shrouded step up the top of mid, so didn't make the step noises. And I don't know if that just completely caught Cobb off guard, or maybe he was just tunnel visioned in, but now they're going to try and fight more aggressively. There's 3 players, Blade Storm activated. Mizzino, again, we've seen this so many times. That stun causing issues. Over the top goes Kai, and then the trade is there. It's all onto Mizzino, fighting 1 versus 3. He knows where they're defusing. He's trying to catch him with the spam, but it's not accurate. It's not on. He's not getting anything. He's defusing right in front of him. And Biang is even there to close the round. We're seeing ludicrous play after ludicrous play. Give me those TPs. Give me the TPs of him just going up top mid.
Take some gold to just shrouded step straight through. Here he is, finding the kill.
He literally just, used 2 shrouded steps. You can see he's got none online just to get to top mid.
Through.
No, he didn't sprint.
He didn't sprint. He stepped.
But you can understand why. You can understand why you'd just be fooled by such an aggressive play.
Yankee rattling off those Odin shots as well, sectioning players and taking them down in the end. Leviathan have called a timeout. This half certainly hasn't gone as they wanted. That didn't stop them from taking the previous map. But here on Ascent, Tom, you were telling me earlier, Trace, they don't really know what defeat tastes like, do they?
No, the closest game they've had has been facing off against Vitality. This is the one map where they've consistently been able to best FPX. I don't think they've not played it versus EDG, so they'll tell you what you like. Maybe that would have been a different story. But other than that, they are 6-0 for the year, 5-0 for here and the last split. Even though it was incredibly close versus Vitality, this is where they win. But the same can be said. If you go over, not the whole year, there's been 2 incredibly close defeats back in stage 1 for Leviathan. That kind of paints a picture that they're kind of good, because since then they dominated G2 last time out. And I think, as we've seen throughout, they were 5-1 down in the last map. Pause taken in the half 7-5. So let's not even get close to counting them out just yet.
Barriers back up. Post pause for Leviathan. They've been picking up rounds most of the time. Here on the attack, they look to close the gap, but it's pistols
I must wait a
and
moment.
SMGs, and they need to be very cautious. Yankee, hungry for a battle, waiting for contact, but soon he's going to run out of patience, and, well, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. They're all here. He hears the drone go out, and now the spams, but the Sheriff's on the other side, doing damage, forcing him back. There's the reveal, but they're safe behind the box. Shock darts about to be sent through. But the close one almost takes down Aspas. 15 HP. Yankee not even checked on the way in, but Tex is able to drop him. Aspas on 15 isn't dead. He's still going to be able to take a fight or two, and they need to be very cautious about the amount of damage. If Leviathan takes site control, there's upgraded weapons, there's post plants. This could get terrifying in the end, and Tex firing off shots. King joins him. 1 versus 2. Winnable. But Kai saves the day. Damage done, but another round for Trace.
Yeah, decent damage, and they had to bait out the Omen ult as well, just to enforce the back of the site. Even still, though, no real trouble economically for Trace. Maybe a couple of orbs up here and there. Annihilation available for Mazzino, which we've already seen in post-plant scenarios, has its benefits. This time, though, it looks like after the last round being relatively successful, I don't really blame Leviathan for going, all right, let's run it back with guns.
Why not? Get the counter spam in the Odin. And listen, if anyone knows about this, it is Calm. Captured my heart early on this map. The further back position from Bianchi, finding damage. He's lit Aspas to 50. I think Aspas is getting pretty tired of having an entry on low HP. And now with the rifles, it's even worse. Lockdown used very early on from the side of Trace. Usually you'll see this even in retakes, but they're using it just to stop these players from pushing out. And then the Hunter's Fury catches them on the way back. This was the plan all along. 1 kill and very close to more, sending them into Kai's waiting arms, and he's swinging out. He's going wide, and oh, he's in danger, but he's made it out alive.
There's so much damage done, even to Com. Left on 49 HP, but yeah, the goal was to force them back. The goal was to push them into Kai. The Hunter's Fury even utilized seemingly as a bonus. This time, though, Mazzino's not going to fall for the same trick twice. Now he's going to use that Annihilation. Low King caught. It leaves an isolated Fung Fung on the side. First goes his way, but he takes a lot of damage. The spray's not pretty. An opportunity from the brink of defeat in this round has presented itself to Leviathan at the hands of Mazzino.
He's trying to wall bang with the operator, and Heybei's wall banging with the Phantom. Caught the kills and left Tex all alone. 51 HP, a 1 versus 2. Kai is at least low, but Heybei has been consistent. He might be able to isolate a fight, but in fact, he's the one that's isolated, dropped by the operator's scope. And 6-2 on the board for Trace. A massive round for this squad now, with Leviathan's credits decently low.
I think this guy is very quickly going to become one of the most fearsome operator players in the game. Like, which says a lot when you're in the same region. This guy can. Like, it really does, but there's a reason that I was excited to see this Jet battle after a couple of maps. Bear in mind, he goes from playing a Cypher, playing super passive, like having these defensive setups, looking for basically, oh, this trip's going to catch someone in, and then I'm going to, to basically that. I'm going to wide swing the guy when I'm low on HP, full confidence. Now, Aspas is only going this round, get the orb, and hopefully not from being shot, because otherwise he's not going to have the Blade Storm for this round.
Well, there's Aspas. Blade Storm online, rifles for the rest. It should be a relatively close round in terms of packing a punch, but again, avoiding Kai. A big part of the early game. Odin still spraying away over towards B main, making some noise. And how did LEVIATAN plan to bypass all of this? Aspas is definitely making some space for the squad, but the spike's still sitting back on mid, and some aggression in A main tells me this is just going to be a fake.
Yeah, they're trying to bait a rotation. It's possible that they have. Can't really be a check into middle. They're selling the idea that this is going to be a B split, but there hasn't been any maneuver whatsoever. Also bear in mind, null command is available. This ultimate could be gone. In fact, not even needed. It's going to be the knife that does it instead. You'd think this would hold to them, but it doesn't. Instead, it's the swing. Heibei goes out. Already, they know all the information. They haven't spotted Low King either. And now it leaves everything onto Tex. He doesn't have a lot of time. And they know exactly where he is.
Well, his teammate's gone, and he has closed the door with the spike on the other side. He knows he doesn't have time to win this, but oh no! The 180 on a dime with the Odin. And that actually manages the operator save as well. That would have been big economic damage at least. 7-2. I can hardly believe my eyes here, Tom. This much of a lead this early on. We need to see LEVIATAN come up with an answer, and they need to come up with one fast.
Oh, the utility in this round from Heibei was everything. First things first, the knife takes away the Blade Storm. Just as they're about to entry, literally the second they're about to entry, they lose the Blade Storm. They're already committed. There's 26 seconds left. He pops the ult, makes sure that they won't have any abilities back for pretty much the rest of the take. And then he throws out Pop Flash and takes 2 with him. It's a tough spot. Aspas, because he didn't buy last round, will have a rifle in this round, and well, who's surprised? God, he's going back for a little bit more. This man has no fear. Even a third bite of the cherry. Has to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, they're nice and close. Pistols are going to be happy to take those fights. His 4th shot doesn't find its mark. He's been doing a lot of spamming. Now he's at a nice, safe distance. Kept himself outside of arm's reach for these weaker weapons. On short, double stacked up. Law King's contact will have an immediate response from Heibei. Backside B being defended. They're all the way in Boathouse, and Calm's almost lost his life. He goes back out. He goes and looks for a fight with the Sheriff. It's a brave play. You look at this map, you would be forgiven for thinking it's a death match. I mean, the attackers are in defender spawn on both sides of the map. They've got a lot of space, but this is calculated. Trace, no, they can't get it planned. They're just trying to force them into a site push where these rifles can have the advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to clear. And if they are going to run it back,
around the world,
it has to be now. Now, Tex has made it into the site. Heaven in here, and the read is completely wrong. Trace have now stacked 4 players up. Kai is the only one here. For him to go down would be atrocious, but I don't even know if they're going to clear this. In fact, he unscopes. Now here's the plant. Doesn't know that Tex is this close, and he's going to be dead to rights. That's an operator into the hands. This is one of the best chances Lev have got, but he's immediately traded.
They're going for the op. They're running it down. Okay, they'll retrieve it as well with the smoke. Calm's got it. 54 HP. Bogdan's happy. But we need someone to step up to the plate. A weak weapon on King. He's been good on the headshots. And he's good again! Oh! The double up! Bianchi tries to pull this back. The Odin spots both players, and they'll rush onto that spike, start the defuse, put the pressure on, try to split them in 2, and that's exactly what they've done. The jump up from Aspas, it's already halved, and a double swing to close it. It got way too close, but the recovery is there in the end. And the streak of rounds for China's number 3. They're leading 8-2.
That round had so many things that went wrong for Trace. The initial rotation, the misread after giving up so much control. LEVIATAN finds space with Tex. They even kill off the superstar of Kai. And then you have this huge double coming up from King. But Bianca just holding the line. The quick read to get back in to kill off Aspas. Moments that seem to just lead to disaster for LEVIATAN. I said after pauses last time, that was normally when there was a turnaround. Well, they've lost 6 rounds in a row. They need the last couple.
They really do. Otherwise, the pistol, which so far has been...
Oh, they won 1.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
They did won 1.
What
Let's
happened,
ignore round number 2 where they lost 2.
Of course, you know,
Classics.
Trace probably 4-spot second round, right?
No.
Yeah, it was all classics. They're pretty good with those weapons. And that's a pretty scary thought moving into the next half. If it's 10-2, even a pistol win for LEVIATAN, they might lose the next. They need to put rounds up, and this timeout, I agree with you. It's the right time for it. But you can see those dots underneath Trace, they're still colored in. They have felt no pressure so far in this half. Let's see if that can change in the final 2 rounds. Some of the last chances for LEVIATAN to recover.
It's a day of China facing off against Americas. We'll be honest. I think this one was meant to be the shoe-in. This was the one that everybody looked at and went, okay, LEVIATAN are in playoffs. Congratulations to them. The whole way through, Trace have been competitive. Their weaker map of Sunset. They still made it close. Bind fought tooth and nail, and now they sit on Ascent, 8-2 in the lead with a 6-round streak. And we're looking at LEVIATAN and saying, what have you got? You're America's #1. You have 2 champions winners. One looking for a repeat. And let's be honest, the rest of the players on that team are not slouches. Already, the reveal attempting to do quite a bit of damage, but there is going to be a response. While the retreat, not going to be punished.
Well, they're certainly worried about someone being up close. All the shock darts and recon sent out in this round. LEVIATAN have cleared that control. Paranoia, well, it's almost just to do that. Cause paranoia amongst the ranks. LEVIATAN are spread, looking for an advantage anywhere. They haven't tried this all too often. But again, the patience of Trace is showing off, shining through.
Makes me nervous getting this low on the clock.
20 seconds, look, Spike
20
is
seconds, Spike mid. They haven't even broken the alarm bot yet. Now that's going to be the reveal. An immediate TP from both sides. That's going to put another player in the boathouse. 10 seconds. They haven't even got close. They've got to get past an Odin. This is looking messy. They need to go right now, and they're going to get slaughtered. It has to be the plan. They have this happen. In fact, I think he let go. I don't know if he's going to get this one. It doesn't even matter. It's absolutely ridiculous. LEVIATAN are falling flat on their face. The #1 from Americas. Wow, they're #2 in this game.
Well, right after a pause, Tom, they get to the site with 5 seconds left and start the plant and then reposition it? There's no time. It was done. You saw the round win pop up. No one needed to defuse. That one was done before it got started. That's a big mistake. That's not one you can be making this deep in a series. In that round, an essential win.
Yeah, as said, they're the ones with experience on this stage. They're the ones with players of high caliber, and right now they're the ones looking outclassed. A new boy on the block in Trace. An organization coming into VCT China, coming into Champions as their first look, and right now, well, it looks like they've been here for years, looking to make their way to join some pretty impressive teams over in the playoffs. Heretics up there. Another team of youngsters.
Spike down mid.
And right now, well, Kai, it doesn't even look like he needs support. He's going to go in for a little bit more. He's looking for style points at this point. Had support from his teammate this time after a miss, but even still, yeah, of course he's going back in for more. Why wouldn't he? Yet to take take a point of damage. He's looking to put a 10th round on the board, and finally he's been put down. But does it matter? Absolutely not.
10 rounds on the board at the half. This team, painted as the underdog, well, they are most certainly on top right now. America's #1, pushed to 3 maps, but now pushed to 10-2. We'll see if they can recover in the next half. Welcome back to half #2. 2 rounds on the board for Leviathan. This has been a dominant display from Trace, and now they're on their attack, where I'll be honest with you, I'm even more scared of what Kai can do. He was attacking in half of those defensive rounds.
Well, let's say if some of you are just joining us, it's not a production error. That scoreline is the correct way round.
Swap.
That is a team with high expectations and a team with none. Well, let's be honest, making it to champions was a huge stepping stone for Trace. It was showing that they can make it to international tournaments with teams like EDG, obviously being a regular alongside FPX, and Billy, who've made it here before. For Trace, that's not been the story. It hasn't been a team that we have got to learn about in the past, a team of players that, hey, okay, Bianca, we knew him before. But Kai is making himself known, I'd say.
Not a lot of people had this result on the board. I think maybe Artis predicted this, but yeah, double digits for Trace. I think this is a surprise, to say the least. And now, on the cusp of victory, they've won every pistol bar, the one where they won the follow-up. And it looks like we're getting into the same boat. It's Aspas immediately eliminated, and the paranoia used to save them from being pushed down.
Where's he going?
Kai has gone running straight through, and the punish is there. A sense of normality, but with the B aggression, the site is now wide open.
He's gone rogue. At this point, I can't imagine that was the plan. But even still, they're going to come out with an advantage. The first pistol that Leviathan won was off Aspas with a 3K. He had a Blade Storm by round number 3. Oh, they're going to need a different hero to step up. King's had his moments. Fong is so far away. He's only just making his presence from behind them. Like, this is such a ridiculous lurk that I don't know if they're even going to question. He's still behind them. They've got to clear the players on the side. They have more pressing matters to attend to than this man sneaking up on the flank. A 3rd kill up, but Com, alongside Mazzino, have done well. They've made this one competitive. They made it possible. It comes down to one, and actually, they've made this one work. They've got enough time to get that defusal over the line. Somehow, from that position, Leviathan have got a lifeline.
A lifeline indeed, 10-3. That's now both pistols under Leviathan's belt, and well, that's...
Nope, it's not happening again.
You don't think so?
Nope.
The classics?
No shot.
All right.
No, there's no way. If that happens twice, we just end the streak. We just end it. We turn it
11-3,
off.
game over.
That's where it finishes.
We're going home.
If it happens, you know, everybody on watch parties just agrees that, no, actually, I'll get fired if I say that. All watch parties will click stop streaming.
No, hold on. Don't do that. Please don't do that. 10-3.
I reckon Finesse is down.
Trace with double digits on the board. And they've gone for mostly classics.
Ah, they've got one Sheriff. It's not happening this time.
Wow,
that's
they're
a shame.
trolling. They're
Yeah.
throwing. The 5 classic buy, they win it. But that Sheriff, it could be the curveball. But in all seriousness, yeah, Leviathan need this round. It looks like Trace are going to play right into their hands. The full utility setup, not just from Deadlock, but from Cypher as well. Camera inside B main. They have everything waiting for this B push. And, indeed, you can see Mazzino's got a net in his hands. The second they make noise, net goes in, and you're completely stopped, which means Kai has no support. Really nice setup by Leviathan.
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult walking into this setup.
Over there.
Well, Mazzino, he knows his spots. For looking, not really a lot of expectation. As I said, this is how these rounds are supposed to go. Calm even playing the
30
Odin.
seconds left.
He's got to be careful. He does still have light shield, so the Sheriff from any distance will be there to finish him off. But with Aspas watching the cross, they have thought of everything. They've got every angle covered. King just waiting for anybody to try and attempt the plant. And actually, they are going to get a plant. Fair enough. That's at least something. A few extra credits.
Yeah. For that side of Leviathan, confident they can win the fights. And as you can see, it's not misplaced confidence. The follow-up round for Leviathan. This pistol and second has doubled up their numbers on this map so far, and Trace have hit a bit of a roadblock. I will say, again, Mazzino, you're insane for buying the Ares. The weapon is trash. An Ares and Odin buy in second round. Y'all got love hearts in my eyes right now, but it's the net as well. The fact that you have the dash, and the point is that you can immediately follow up with the other 2 players. He's creating a bit of space, and they're swinging with him at least a second or 2 later. Not possible when that net hits them all.
Over there.
Bianca likes the odds, and he's bought one for himself. He's going to try and pretend, I would say counter, but he's not gone to B.
Yeah.
Going for the early setup. And they're walking into Mazzino once again. Now bear in mind the weaponry, not the best. But Levitt would be a huge stepping stone back into the match if they can win this with the weaponry that they have. Shock darts are being utilized to clear out a lot of that utility. One of the major things with the sensors is a lot of teams, in fact most teams, will play Jet on this map, and you go dashing out and you're immediately stunned. So the fact that that's removed sells an idea, but here you go. I saw that Odin, I was thinking an A site Odin, bit weird. They're going back towards that B site.
Decent for post plant, but now the call's being made. They know that there's a player spamming. They know where he was, but they'll be a little bit late to the party. Shift walk up. You have to put some faith in the fact that if Calm starts spraying, the Bianca can trade it out. He's actually going to be the first one to start spraying away. The site under pressure. It's Tex inside his cages. Dash in. Good for Kai. He's got control on the right side. Putting pressure on. Aspas toying with the idea of going through. Only has a Guardian, and now the door is closed on him. It's Calm on backside. Odin in hand, and he doesn't last a second. In fact, it's Bianca to wallbang him out of the round. 5 versus 2. Looking for their 11th round. And what would be another nail in Lev's coffin for sure. Putting them to bed here and now 11-4 locked in.
And it's clean. A flawless round for the side of Trace. A great way to kick things off with their economy. As said, that was a weaker purchase. But just how clean everything is, the utility in support, the spams as well, actually just immediately ruined, and then just meeting Com in his angle and fighting him back with the Odin.
2 wallbang kills as well in that round. Both of the players on B side didn't even get to see a player. They just got shot straight through.
There's no margin for error. A loss here would destroy the economy of Lev and mean they need 8 rounds in a row. The net has been dodged, and actually, they seem like they know that King's there. It's not worth the gamble, and there has been a push from the defense on the other side of the map.
Two more rounds for Trace. And a slow start to this one. They know Annihilation is online for Mazzino. And ult you definitely have to be cautious of. It's hit most of the time for either squads that it's being deployed. Barring, I think, 1 on Bind. Smoke down as King runs away, concedes the space. They're beckoning them in. Once that, there you go, once it's broken, the little barrier, Take a look at the sonic sensor on A site. This is, like you were saying earlier, Tom, for the dash. But Trace are making noise there and going the exact opposite direction. There'll be a challenge. It's going to be Kai against Aspas. This could be the round decided. If Kai goes down, then they're in trouble.
Mind.
Instead, it's Aspas who falls immediately. Oh, almost catching them on the cross, and in fact, catching them on the way out. Tex completely unaware. Annihilation goes through, but it looks like we'll have a counter spam, some utility perhaps.
It was immediately broken, but it doesn't seem to matter. The time now starting to tick, and they are fighting back into this one, leaving it all onto King. Lockdown going to be used, but he's looking to fight the site. In fact, he can get onto this one without too many problems. The first shot connected. They need a little more, and he's going to get it as well. LEVIATAN needed a hero. Only one king can wear that crown.
Stepping up when they need him the most. Their back was most certainly against a wall here. Late play through mid, catching them off guard. Same thing that we just saw. Working the way of Trace, and my goodness, he's playing it up to the crowd. 11-5, still a long road back into this, and relying on individual performances is never going to be consistent. But they've managed to take some dangers out of the arsenal of Trace. In particular, Lockdown no longer there. There won't be an easy way into the A site. Annihilation for Mizzino has fallen, but Calm back up with a Hunter's Fury. And that's an ult in his hands that you rarely see miss its mark.
Oh, here comes that attack side operator. Kai is looking for this fight once again, looking for Aspas this time. The Brazilian will live to tell the tale. On the other side, a very different setup. The hero of the last round dropped down to a judge, but if anything, in some cases, it might be considered an upgrade.
Back up Blade Storm for Kai if he needs it. It's a slow walk up through A short. Drone stopped early. Not able to find any information really, and the counter drone will go through. This one focused on middle again, which hasn't really been held by LEVIATAN in most of these rounds. It's a much more passive hold around that angle. But after sneaking a player through there last round, it makes sense that they want to clear it and see if anyone's filled in that gap. Still, it's pretty open. Bar a passive play from Calm. Orb taken. Didn't get the ult quite online, but just one away, and the shot from Kai dodges with the dash. Hunter's Fury fired through, and it's got one. Hey, bait just before the ult comes in, so he can't be rezzed.
Mizzino's gone, though. That leaves Com to try and make a play above the smoke. Doesn't want to overextend. It will be a post-spawn. I don't think there's anything that can be done about that. The second shock dart might do a little bit of damage, and some counter being put in. Kai not willing to give up this fight. Again, he's going to meet his opponent of Aspas and win another battle, but that Odin's still doing damage, still making this one competitive. As Tex looks to try and jump down, he's caught by utility. They know that he's done it. The spam almost trying to act as a distraction, but both players now sat towards the generator, and a full wraparound from Kai, just waiting in the backlines. Tex with everything to do, and he has no idea that there's still another man there. 12-5, 7 chances for one of the greatest upsets we've ever seen.
And no matter what you thought about this squad coming in, how much promise they showed, and even after the match versus Vitality, this, it has to be said, is a massive over-deliver for this squad. Beating LEVIATAN 2-1, 2-0, that's a big accomplishment. They are grinding them down to dust here.
I was messaging good old Ryan Central, the man who watches every game of Tryon. He's like, I think they could give them a run for their money. I think they could give them a match. But I don't think a 12-5 was ever on the cards. Maybe he'll tell me otherwise. 3-man stack, weaponry weak. The only advantage they have is the fact there's plenty here and the damage they've just done.
Kai barely holding on to his life. 8 HP, it is a lot of damage. Tex tagged low. And the weak weapons across the board. It's not looking great. Calm's just been wall banged down. A taste of his own medicine. Bianche's been doing this a lot here on the attack side, and the reward is massive. Rotation underway from Mizzino. That's the one main rifle that they have to work with. And a nasty trap setup from Aspas. But if he gets greedy, They've pumped the brakes, they haven't moved. Someone's got to check it eventually, and if he does, they are ready and waiting. But the patience might pay off. He gets Kai, but that's it. Shut down after just one. The trades not coming through for LEVIATAN. Tex trying his best, 5 shots and a stinger down to the Classic, and the Odin spray gets him. It's all on King. 1 versus 2. He clutched it out before, and now has the Vandal to work with. Time ticking, damage done, and he's being pushed back.
They're desperately trying to get this kill before he has the chance to isolate the battle. The plant is that moment as he looks for the swing. Nothing connected just yet, but he's definitely tagged a little lower. Isolating these jewels is not going to be easy. They play this one together, and it seems like it's all over. King gets that first spot, but now they know exactly where he is. They're going to try and play this, and they almost line up, but almost doesn't win anything. Last year, champions won by EG. There was a man who said that Americas would never be beaten by China. It's time to take a seat.
There were 2 kings on the server today, Tom, but it's Trace that seemed to have a real shot at the throne. Number 3 Chinese team beating out America's number 1. If you had this in your pick'ems, well, I might take my hat off to you. An upset like we've never seen, and you saw the celebrations after beating Vitality, after winning their first game on the international stage. Well, now they've earned an even bigger celebration. For LEVIATAN, a well-played game, but today they found out just what China can do.
Yeah, it's so massively impressive. Again, you see those duelists switching up across maps, both having lights-out performances. We saw the switch up of Sentinels, the ideas that this squad have had, the leadership, and also, don't play them on Ascent. Don't go anywhere near it at this stage. We spoke about the fact they'd beaten FPX a couple of times, a tough team to play against, but now they've come in and taken it off LEVIATAN. They've come in against one of, if not the best player in the world, and Kai has shown, you know what, I can match him, I can beat him. This team is not a team you want to be facing in that playoff stage. And they have put China on the map for what, like the 8th time at this point? We've got to stop underrating the teams coming through from this region.
They say never meet your idols, Tom. Well, what about beat them? Because that's what Heibei's done here today. An absolutely incredible display of Valorant from the get-go. We knew we were in for something special with this series, but the result and the way, the fashion in which this ended is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I think Champions always has its special moments. It always has its upsets. It always has teams that disappear at the wrong time. And for LEVIATAN, okay, it's not over. They're still going to look to fight this one back. But the day today goes to Trace. A fantastic performance overall. And you just love to see it.
Well, Tom, after this wonderful win, I'm sure they'll need time for their emotions. But Heibei, he used to look up to Aspas. Now, maybe Aspas can look up to him. Let's toss it down to the Verizon post-match interview where Bella's standing by with Heibei.